look at that, Senna now right with Alain Prost on lap 40, and Prost has got somebody in front of him that he's got to lap. This could be Ayrton Senna's opportunity to take the lead and the World Championship chance at the same time. Now Prost is past. It was Eddie Cheever, I think that, yes, Eddie Cheever, that they have both lapped. And now, for the first time, we see the two McLarens absolutely together, and you're looking at Alain Prost's car ahead from the camera of Ayrton Senna's McLaren Honda on lap 41 in this 53-lap race. And now it's going to be really enthralling, because Alain Prost can see the McLaren Honda of Senna big in his mirrors.
Yes, and now we have another ingredient, which is probably not such a good one, and believe you me, we have very, very high emotions running in both those cockpits. With the drivers, it wouldn't be unreasonable to say that they hate each other. And on that basis, to be racing at those speeds adds a further and rather unnecessary dimension to have heavy emotional feelings of antipathy towards each other, but that is the situation. It also makes the pressure much greater for Prost with his lead. His dislike for Senna makes him much more twitchy and much more inclined, if possible, to make a mistake. It's not a good pressure to have.
And look, Senna's going through. No, Prost holds him off. Well, it's going to be constant attack, because Senna has got everything to gain and nothing to lose. And Prost has got everything to lose if Senna gets past him. If Senna can get past, it'll keep his World Championship hopes alive down to Australia in 2 weeks' time. Down the finishing straight at 192 miles an hour into turn 1. What a fantastic scrap. And just for the record, behind them it's Nannini now in third position still. Mansell in that smoking Ferrari is fourth. Fifth and sixth are the two Williams of Riccardo Patrese and Thierry Boutsen. Seventh and last is Nelson Piquet. In eighth position it is Modena. In ninth position it is Gugelmin. But here is the excitement, and we are right with it. A masterstroke, getting the cameras on the McLarens.
And of course, particularly exciting for Australia when we think about this, because they've got, depending on this, whether they host the deciding race for the World Championship, and if that's what they want to do, then they must be cheering like mad at home for Ayrton Senna. But quite frankly, with the tremendously dramatic race that we're getting here, they're getting their money's worth, even if it doesn't go to Adelaide, because we've had a dead rubber, as it were, in Adelaide twice before, and it seems, to me anyway, to have detracted nothing from the racing and from the entertainment there. So either way, I think we'll have a good time in Adelaide, and we're having a hell of a good time here just watching this race. Senna threatening a little bit, but remember, this is a narrow track, the cars are fairly equally matched on power. This is one of the places, as they go out onto the straight, where Senna would be looking to try and draw alongside under braking. He's being big at Prost in the mirrors, but it's a little bit of a quick flick there for any heroics. And of course Senna will have the added knowledge that Prost only has to take them both out of the race to win the World Championship. And whether he thinks Prost is going to do it or not, because I think it's highly unlikely, he must always allow for that possibility in his thinking, even if he believes that Prost wouldn't do a thing like that, which I certainly believe. He can't afford to go very close to Prost when he looks for a way past, just in case Prost does something silly like that.
They've just gone underneath. There's a crossover, you will have noticed. We haven't mentioned it before at Suzuka. They've just gone through there. They're about to complete another lap. That will be the end of their 43rd lap in this 53-lap race. And Prost has pulled away just a little bit from Ayrton Senna at this point.
If I was in Senna's shoes, and I'm not sure, I haven't detected that he might be doing it already, I would maybe start trying to con Prost. And there's Mansell, he's surviving, so it's obviously only an oil leak. The question there for Mansell is whether he's going to have enough oil to last to the race, because they don't work terribly well without oil, these cars. Going back to Senna, Senna's tactics, I would have said now, would be to try and appear to Prost that although he's still trying hard, he can't really do much about it. Try to lull Prost into a sense of false security. Seen Senna do it before. He's got that sort of cunning, and I think that if he could lull him into a sense of false security and then spring a sudden attack with about 5 or 6 laps to go, that would still be enough time, and he might just be able to catch, to relax Prost now and catch him unawares a bit. It'd take a brave man to want to do that. Still lapping at a furious pace, and also not a bad idea. This is a very hard circuit physically. Senna probably needs a 3 or 4 lap rest if he can have it. Take it easy, and big yellow flags waving there. I think it's still the Lola at that point. Been there for a few laps now.
Well, Prost was actually quicker than Senna on that previous lap. It hasn't made much difference because it was only marginally quicker. And these two of the best drivers in the world. Well, it's Nakajima out of his own home Grand Prix. What a pity! In exactly the same place as Philippe Alliot, Nakajima, who was 12th on the grid last year, 6th on the grid, is out of the Japanese Grand Prix. 5 times Japanese champion, not finishing here. But look at this. This is lap 44. And Senna is attacking again. He's back with Prost. He's reduced the gap. It's still behind them. Nannini, Mansell in the smoking Ferrari is still 4th. Over the line, down to turns 1 and 2. This 180-degree joined turn, which leads into the S curve. 9 laps to go. What a race it's been.
Yes, and I think Senna's probably decided that he can't afford a breather, and he hasn't got room for, in terms of time left for cunning tactics. That's Nakajima walking back. Must be very disappointed to have got so far in his home Grand Prix, and having quite a good race, albeit an eventful one. And there is Nigel Mansell, and that of course is no surprise, having seen how much smoke was coming out of the back of his car. Big disappointment for him, but today has not been Mansell's day. Today is the day of the McLaren Hondas, who are still locked in combat. Prost with the upper hand at the moment, and it's beginning to look to me as if Senna has only desperation tactics left. Prost, well, they're just a little bit with all that oil around and the high temperatures of the metals around. Ignition can be pretty sudden, so they're wise just to damp it down, as it were.
Patrese and Boutsen have moved up, and it's still, there is the race. Prost and Senna, 1st and 2nd. Nannini in 3rd position. Patrese is 4th. Boutsen is 5th. The last person not to have been lapped, because Piquet is now in the points in 6th position, but has been lapped. We're riding now with Senna, world champion. Lap 46 out of 53. Prost is in his sights. The World Championship chance is in his sights. And it's a 53-lap race. This is lap 46. And Prost has got enormous pressure on him. So in a way as Senna, because Senna knows that if he can't get up with Prost and look for his opportunity to get past, he will not repeat his World Championship.
So our car, that's Senna's, as we ride with him, right up on the curve, sectioning out under the bridge down to the short straight. You see Prost is not hurrying into the corners, and that's absolutely the right thing to do when defending a position, because of course hurrying into the corner you can go wide, but he can't overtake on the way in, and then lining the car up to make sure to get the power on early and right, and that leaves your opponent with very little he can do. Back to Mansell, out of the race, but really we would like to see this epic battle that goes on. And that's as close as Senna has been at any stage at this point on the circuit. She came before the pits, and there you see what happens in these cars. Their acceleration is so great that the leader will always get the power on first. You see just how quickly, being maybe a tenth of a second earlier on the power, what a big difference that makes as the cars exit the corner. Prost still defending, and Ayrton Senna is the man now upon whom the onus rests. Has he got something up his sleeve, or will he try? It looks to me as if he has no obvious answer. Will he try something desperate? He's shown himself capable of doing that. Prost is making sure that Senna will have to do something like that, because he is, as I say, going slowly into the corners, getting early on the power, and an anxious McLaren team there, and Senna again closer than ever before.
This is Alain Prost's 150th Grand Prix, so he has had experience of just about every situation, including this one. The situation of being in the lead with the second place man treading on his rear wheels almost, and having to resist that pressure, keep his racing line, not go wide, not leave an opportunity and a door open through which Senna would be like a flash. Now, there are very few cars left on the circuit. There's 14 running now out of the 26 who started. And if Prost comes up to any of them, this is the opportunity that Senna's looking for. And he's going through. Out! Oh my goodness, this is fantastic. They meet. This is what we were fearing might happen during the race. And that means to say that Prost has won the World Championship. Alain Prost, world champion of 1989.
Well, and just look at this, because Ayrton Senna, who can get going again, but he's been pushed, that's outside assistance. And I'm afraid to say that that is all over for Ayrton Senna, and it was his own fault because of the slow corner. He wasn't past Prost, and he went into a gap, and Prost had every right to turn into him there. And I'm afraid that was self-inflicted. Senna has got going again. He's back on the track, but he will for sure be disqualified for receiving a push start there.
Well, that is contentious. The rule says that you can be pushed if you are judged to be in a dangerous position. So it could well come down to a steward's decision of some kind, but look at the problems that Senna is going to have with car handling. And now, of course, Alessandro Nannini is very much in the running, and it could be that we're going to see the Benetton Ford winning and a Benetton winning, and Senna is still leading. Senna with this twisted nose cone and very dodgy handling, and it's coming to pieces. He's going to have to come into the pits to have it replaced. He goes off, he's lost downforce of course, and that dramatically affects adversely the handling of the car. No wings on either side, and we are on lap 48 in this 53 lap Japanese Grand Prix, with Alain Prost walking in. Heaven knows what's going through his mind as Ayrton Senna tried to take it.
Well, I tell you what's going through my mind. What a tragic way to finish such a thrilling race, and it really was tragic that Senna should self-inflict such an injury, because he just asked for Prost to take his line and drive into him, and it was as we suggested, an act of desperation on Senna's part, and it did look as if he needed that. So in fairness to him, maybe that was his only way. Now, will Senna come in to change that nose, or will he try and stay out? He is still leading the race, remember, but of course he really should be disqualified for his push start, but he goes into the pit, so they're going to try putting a new nose on the car, maybe. He's in the pit road, and here is Nannini, who will take over the lead of the race.
Yes, indeed he will, and the question then will be, can Ayrton Senna, with this new nose cone, depending on what the position is, either regain the lead or retain the lead? Well, we're watching now for Nannini. Nannini is in the lead! Alessandro Nannini leads the Japanese Grand Prix as Ayrton Senna leaves the pit lane. And my guess is, and it's very much a guess, that Senna, in the mood that he's in now, on lap 48, will catch and pass lap 49. Can catch and pass Nannini and then win the World Championship if he wins in Australia. Well, this really is a dramatic ending to the Japanese Grand Prix. Alain Prost out, it doesn't affect his chance. Here's a replay, now let's look. Senna comes up to try and go through on the inside. Prost moves across, takes them both out.
Yes, well, Senna went for a gap that wasn't there. You could see quite clearly that Prost was already turning into the corner. And Senna put himself in an absolutely impossible situation. But he was lucky because at least he was able to get back into the race with the help of the marshals.